The Texas Supreme Court is set to make a ruling on whether or not a family can have sentimental value of a pet. So right now, if someone accidentally kills your dog, right? So if your dog is accidentally euthanized, for instance, you can sue.
How does your dog get accidentally euthanized?
Well, it actually happens often. I've had friends who've had it happen to them.
Jesus.
But there's a case in Texas, which is why this specific ruling is being made. A family basically lost their dog. The dog ran away, and then they found out that it was at a facility, like a pound or something. And then they called the pound. They said, okay, we're going to go pick the dog up. Well, they put some sort of sign on the dog indicating that the family was going to pick it up, but something happened. An employee made a mistake, and an employee accidentally euthanized the dog. Okay?
Yeah, but that's the thing I don't understand. Like, there's all this like secret killing of dogs that I'm not familiar with. Like, I feel like, the pound, if you don't pick him up in 36 hours, we slice his throat. So if you're doing like the mass murder of dogs.
Yeah.
Is somebody going to get put in the wrong bin every once in a while? Of course they are. They bring in Fluffy, and they're like, oh, we thought he was in the pound. We slit his throat and took his eyes out.
Yeah, and just to be clear, the dog was in like a cage that had a sign that said, do not kill. But for some reason,
well, obviously you can sue. It's negligence. I mean, you got to.
You can sue, but let me tell you the details, because you can sue, but right now all you can get is the market value of that dog.
Right, which could be like $100.
Exactly, but if that dog has sentimental value, all of a sudden you can sue for more. So that's why the Texas Supreme Court.
So should you be able to sue for more? You guys are dog owners. You're definitely going to say yes.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, the sentimental value of a dog is the dog is not just property. I mean, that's very clear that a pet. I mean, we're not going to be that far off, because I'd be like, yeah, you can sue for sentimental value, and let's reasonably cap that.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And market value is not quite fair. It's a living, breathing thing, and it's not a plant. I'm not going to go with JR, who's going to say the value is zero because it's not a human being. Okay, and so if you say to me $10,000, I love that dog. I can't believe it. I can go with that. If you come to me with like $2.5 million, yeah. Okay, no, I'm not listening to that nonsense.
Right. So there
Can we make an agreement on 15 right now?
Okay, all right, we have a deal.
So very quickly, I know we're running out of time, but here are some of the implications if they do say that dogs have sentimental value, okay? Car insurance companies may start charging more, because what if you accidentally run over a dog and you get sued because you run over someone's dog? The insurance company would have to cover that. So there are all these little implications that people haven't thought of.
If it's going to affect actual corporations, sorry, Fluffy, you now have your market value, which is about $100.
Goes back
and we're
to
done
that.
with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, first of all, I hate the idea that a show-worthy Springer Spaniel that's worth $13,000 is somehow more valuable than Rookie, who has no value. Rookie's market value is $60 or whatever it costs to get a dog at the pound. But dogs are part of families. They're not the same as the humans, but to pretend that they're not. That they arguably aren't more valuable than something that we do assign monetary value to. If you accidentally, if you take your car to get the axle fixed and they accidentally smash the car, well, we know you can get that car has value, and I would only argue that the dog might have as much value as the car to that particular family.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Here he comes.
No, I get it, but
Anti-dog Jared Jackson.
I was on board until the whole. Because we say it would affect corporations if insurance companies have to raise their rates in case you run over a dog. First off, that's owner negligence, first of all. Number two, if that does...
Almost always, if a dog is out, most often it's probably not the driver's fault.
And then if companies raise the rates, it's not affecting the companies, it's coming back again, as Cenk says, every day. It affects the people who pay those rates, not the companies. Allstate's fine, like, okay, we'll raise your rates some more, fuck it. Because how many times have you guys run over a dog? I haven't, but if I'm paying for it, I'm pissed about it.
4.
Probably 3 for you.
4, yeah.
On the actual substance of this, we agree we already shook out the $15,000. On the political level, dogs are not people, my friend, but corporations are.
Right.
So the corporations are going to win this, and Allstate is going to care, and they're going to fight this. And a fight between Rover and Allstate is not a fair fight.
Also, a fight between Rover and Allstate is not fair. That said, no matter how much money you make, whether you're doing pretty well like I am, or whether you make $26,000 a year, if you have animals in your life that you love and care about, and I have 1 that I love and 2 that I like a lot, be careful though about suing the guy who works at the Texas animal shelter for making a mistake. Because the fact of the matter is, I'm not going to feel any better whatsoever if at $15,000 if somebody accidentally kills Rookie and then gives me $15,000. Like, you know, I got it. That's just how we do things in America. But it's not really like, I mean, if it is sentimental value, then $18,000, $9,000.
And that guy's not rich either, and we don't know how callous he was.
Right.
Maybe he just made a mistake. He feels sick.
Like if that
It was
guy
a
feels
female employee there, and she feels horrible. You know,
let her
she's-
go.
Let her go.
yeah.
Let her go. Yeah.
And the last thing, that's what I remember now. The sentimental value of a dog. So, I mean, it all goes with who believes in what. Say your grandfather had a 1937 Buick, and it was passed down to your father and then to you, and somebody destroyed it. And you're like, dude, that's been in my family for 3 generations. I love that car. Now, people who don't give a shit about cars will say, it's Medlen wheels, shut up. But it could mean something to you if it was
I
like
got
your,
it, Jim.
you know.
We make
So
fun.
if there's things that you can't. I don't think you can legislate it and say because you have an emotional attachment, which sucks. But as your best point, $15,000 isn't bringing back the fact that you lost your dog.
No, I understand, but the fact is we can make value judgments in this country. And
That's what courts are for.
right, that's what courts are for. And along the way, we have decided, I think we should decide, that animals who are part of the fabric of a family's life have some value that is different than things, no matter what those things are, whether they're things that you love, like cars, things that I love, like baseball cards, you know.
Or things that I love, like nutty bars.
Right, exactly.
You took my nutty bars? I had emotional attachment to those things. I was going to eat them on Friday.
Right, for you, it's your grandfather's car. For me, it's my porn collection. Right?
Okay.
We all value
Excellent.
things differently. But I think these are living creatures live in your house. It's fair to analyze whether those are different because they are in fact alive.